Ohioan, I believe he's from Cleveland. Browns stink. That's not this guy's fault. He was a Penguin, which means he's played for the greatest organization in all of NHL. One of the co-hosts of That's Hockey Talk, ladies and gentlemen, Mike Rupper.
Hey! What's up, fellas? How you doing today?
What are you doing? Get a little workout in out there?
No, man. I'm on. I'm running the NHL Network studio. I just pulled over on the Jersey Turnpike. Class C rest area I'm at right now, but getting the call done.
Okay, well, you're hosting a show I heard today. Old Rupper's reigning the entire NHL Network this evening at 3:30. Is that what's happening?
Yeah, I haven't got any details, but NHL Now is on from 4 to 6, and normally we got Jackie Redmond, great host on that show. I don't know what happened, but I got the call from the bullpen. They went, bring in the lefty, and they're bringing me in this one. And I don't know. I'll be honest with you. This is either going to be something that's going to be really big for me, or it's probably going to end everything. So I don't know how it's going to go, but I'm ready for it. Let's do it.
We're talking to Stanley Cup champion and Danbury Trasher legend, Rupper, wearing the Galante hoodie right now. Let's go, Trashers! Woo! Let's go, Trashers. The best team that has never really got fully blossom, I think.
Yeah.
You know, they're probably
gone too soon.
They are. They're very much so. And we have nothing but love for everything over there. And that's how we learned of Rupp, I believe. I learned of Rupp. Got a chance to chat with Rupp. Now I'm learning even more about Rupp. Incredible stories. Knows everybody. Now he's on NHL Network hosting for 2 hours. I mean, this guy is the face of hockey at this point. Rupp, quick question. What's going on with hockey? Games are canceled. They removed. Canada isn't letting people in there. What does the next few weeks look like for hockey? And tell me why the Penguins are the greatest team in handling all of this, please.
All right. Well, listen, we got, I think a lot of leagues and a lot of places are watching the NFL, how things are being managed by the NFL. They're kind of paving the way for some of these other leagues. The NHL is a little bit of a different animal, though, because we've got 7 teams in Canada. And Canada's got some pretty restrictive COVID situations and protocols in place. So it makes it where, all right, we don't want to lose the gate. These Canadian teams don't want to lose the gate. The one thing that we got to remember in all this pandemic, the players in the NHL owe the owners $1 billion that's going to be paid via escrow over the next number of years. So we don't want these games to be played in front of no fans. So they're kind of delaying these games, see if they can kick the can down the road a little bit. So in places like Montreal or Toronto or Ottawa or whatever the place is in Canada, where they could be played in front of fans. So right now they just adopted and had some talks, and obviously the CDC, we all know, has been taking down the 10-day kind of waiting period down to 5. So the NHL is now instituting that. So it's just kind of, right now we're kind of trying to plow through. Games started up the last couple nights, and keeping your fingers crossed to keep this thing moving.
Rupper, who are some of a handful of the best teams in the NHL right now? I can't get a straight answer. Pat continues to always say the Penguins are going to win it all.
I was about to say Penguins.
I never really know what's going on there.
Well, let me give you the tiers. I'm a big tier guy. I like to put this is tier 1 and blah 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 after that. Yes. Tier 1 in the NHL for me is Tampa Bay Lightning. Back-to-back Stanley Cup champs. I wouldn't be shocked if they win it again. Plug your ears there, Pat. So them probably. They're the top tier.
They're cheating with the salary cap. They're cheating down there.
That's a fair conversation to have. But anyways, we got the Florida Panthers. I would put up there. The Colorado Avalanche are going to be in that mix as well. Although they're not in that place in the standings right now. They're just the dangerous teams. That next tier, you got the Washington Capitals. I love the St. Louis Blues. The Vegas Golden Knights, and I would probably put the Pittsburgh Penguins in here. I mean, this is a team that no one's really paying attention to, and they've been doing a heck of a job navigating through all these injuries. Evgeny Malkin is back, not back. He's back on the ice. He's back moving and going, and he says his knee feels 200% stronger. I don't know what that means. That sounds fucking amazing, though, right? If I felt 200% better, I'd be playing right now too. So, they're going to get Malkin back. So don't sleep on the Penguins. But it's kind of wide open, to be honest with you. I still think Tampa, going into the Christmas break, they won 2 cups in a row. They were without 2 of their top players for the first half of the season for the most part. And they're still in first place in all the NHL. They're getting those guys back. I still think it's their cup to lose. And look out for the Lightning.
When does this start to matter? When's a good time to get hot? When's a good time to get hot, you think? Is it after the new year here? Is it like a month from now? When do you think the teams need to get hot if they really want to go on a run? And when will we learn which teams probably aren't going to be in any of the tiers you're speaking of?
Right now you can start. I mean, when you're talking points in the NHL, like 6 points is a lot, 8 points is a lot, and it's hard to overcome those. You can still do it now because it's January, but you're going to be starting to run out of time for teams that are really far back there. But as far as hitting your stride at the right time, that's going to come in, anywhere from the last probably 15, 20 games left. You see teams start to get on a run. Like, that's where the magic happens. We've seen teams in all sports who get wild card positioning, they get in the playoffs and they go on an absolute tear and they run through. It's because they're playing well at the same time. I was with the New York Rangers the one year we were up for the President's Trophy for the league's best record. All year, we dominated all season long. But we kind of ran out of gas like the last 10 games. And I don't know, say we were 4-6 in our last 10 games. Then we came limping in the playoffs. And it didn't really matter what we did prior to that, right? So, look for the teams that are going to hit in stride. I'd say middle of February, the teams that get on some good runs. I mean, if they can get in, you got to look out for them.
All right, let's figure it out, Sid. All right, speaking of, how's Sid playing? Sid playing? Or I know games have been moved and canceled. Have you got any updates from Sid's house pond that he's skating on, working on? Is he still greatest player in hockey? Who is greatest player in hockey right now, aside from Sidney Crosby?
Hey, you know what? Sid's right there, man. And this guy, the one thing with Sid, and we talked about it. We talked about it on that Talkie Talk, and we told some stories about it. And I know you guys know this as well. Like, he is a creature of habit, man, more than anybody else. And
greatness.
Anybody who plays the sports, like, you do the same thing every day. You eat the same damn food every day. You go to sleep at the same time every day. This guy is on another planet with that. So he didn't start the season with training camp, man. He had his wrist surgery. It took him some time to get going. And but he's not. I guess my point is he's not fully there yet, but he's still a hell of a player right now. And this team is loaded to make a good run. And Gino, like I said, there's going to be a lot of motivation. He is pending UFA. Chris Letang's a pending UFA. There's a lot of question marks what the team's going to do. I think there's a lot of chips on the shoulders of the Pittsburgh Penguins. And Sid will lead that and carry this team a long way.
Is McJesus the guy then? He's the best player. Who's the best player in hockey, you think?
Stoner. What about Stoner?
All right.
Connor's the best. Connor's the best offensive player in the league, and I hate always giving it like that, kind of giving it the best offensive. What does that mean, Rupper? Like, what do you mean? It's not that you're not good all around. Like, what I'm saying is, like, when you're talking about putting the puck in the net, which is kind of the name of the game, he's the best. He's the best. I don't think it's even close, to be honest with you. His teammate Leon Draisaitl is probably the closest. But after that, as far as complete hockey players, you got guys who are up for the MVP that don't get enough love. I think Mark Stone is one of those. I mean, he's a guy. He's won the Selke for the league's best defensive player. He can put up points. He drives offense from the wing, which is really difficult to do. There's a lot of names out there as far as, but the Hart Trophy winner, the league MVP up to this point, it's Alex Ovechkin. What he's doing right now is incredible. I don't know how. I guess I don't know if it's straight up Russian gas or what it is, but this guy just doesn't stop. The guy doesn't stop. I mean, he's however old he is right now. Is he 30? Oh, he's 37 years old, somewhere around there. And this is the best complete numbers he's put up in his career. So I think if it ended today, the league MVP would be Ovi.
Okay, quick question before AJ has one other than Stoner. Whenever you talk about the NHL locker room dynamic, it's much different than the NFL one, but you still are a melting pot of a bunch of different backgrounds. But in hockey, it's Russia, Sweden, Canada, Norway. I guess if you play hockey your entire life, but as an Ohioan, in what we know about Ohioans, generally, as a rule of thumb about Ohioans being Ohioans, what's that?
Being unbelievable, but go ahead.
Exactly. I mean, absolutely.
Yeah,
exactly.
That's what you're thinking.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. That locker room dynamic. Does everybody speak English? Is that as big of a like camaraderie in the NFL is a massive deal. You can see what teams like each other. In the NHL, with how many different languages and backgrounds, is there a big camaraderie factor in that thing? What do you guys just all get absolutely hammered together? How is the behind the scenes stuff of the NHL?
It's funny you say that because you sit there and guys will joke around. So in the locker room, it's not about, hey, you're playing in North America here, you got to speak English. We respect guys that come over, and you might have 5 Czech guys on your team, you might have 2 or 3 Russians. But inside that room, you got to speak English because nothing's worse is like, I remember early on in my career, you'd have a couple Russians on the team in between periods. Some of the boys would be like, hey, AJ, yeah, good period, man. Hey, when chip it by this guy, I'm going to go in there and you're talking gameplay, you're talking strategy. And then you get some of the Russians over there, and they're like, Rupper. like, fucker, I hear you. Like, I know my name. I know my name. And it didn't sound like the tone was real positive. So, what you say in those moments, you say, hey, guys, English. And the guys are receptive to that. They know it's about us coming together and working together. But you know what? That's the great thing in the NHL. And I'm sure it's like that in football and all other sports. We have 82 games. You get out on the road. You go to dinners. You fling stories. You're talking. You're having some beers. Those are the biggest things you miss as a player when you're done playing. Is that camaraderie. So I can be, there's parts of northern Sweden that see about 3 hours of daylight in a day. That kid grew up. I'm playing with them. We could be best of boys. And I find that to be pretty spectacular, man, because there's not many times in this earth where you're introduced to that many different types of people, and it is a melting pot.
I love it.
Rupper, what about fighting in the game? I'm sure you get asked about it all the time. Are we going to see more or less as the game continues to go on? I know they want to take out cheap shots and headshots, but is it always going to still be there, and that the threat of fight's going to be there?
Such an
It'll always be there. I don't know if it's going to get more of it. I think it kind of comes in waves. Early on this season, there was quite a bit of it. It's always going to be a part of it. You can ask, and those great players we talked about, you talk to Ovi, you talk to Sid, you talk to Connor McDavid, you talk to any of these guys, everybody wants it. Everybody wants fighting in there. It's a vehicle to, some people may not see it or understand it, but it's a way to keep people safe, keep people accountable. When you're going out there and you're trying to play against Sid or Connor, you want to make life miserable for them. But and when you have 18 guys on the other team who feel like there's no you don't have to be accountable. Yeah, there's no consequence. Well, now you got 18 rats on the other team that are going to be all over the star players. Well, you know what? If you could throw a big boy out there who's going to stand up, I don't know, maybe take a sussy and take a 5-game suspension on trying to send a message. You know what? Now all of a sudden that 18 drops to 5. Maybe there's only 5 guys on your team that are brave enough to still go at those guys, knowing that they might have to pay the piper. So I think that's something that the players will fight for till the end of time. They want fighting in hockey. I don't know, AJ, if it's going to grow and get more and more. But it's a spot where everybody wants it, and I think if the players want it, it's going to stay in.
How come every time I watch, and it falls in this vein, I believe, but how come every time I watch Wayne Gretzky, he's basically skating on an open ice rink? He's just he's got nothing but time, and the goalies are wearing less pads than Aaron is here on this bobblehead, and it's a much different game. When did that change? When did the goon thing kind of end? Because I remember that being a huge part. Like, Wayne had a guy, a protector, who came to different teams with him, right? And everybody knew, hey, you do anything to Wayne, this guy is going to fuck you up. So you got to stay away from him, to what you just said. Basically, right? Like, that is how it was for a while. When did it change? Just whenever people thought brain injuries? Is that what kind of changed you thing? Was it the optics of fighting not being accepted? Why do you think there was a time there where it was kind of just like taken out of the game completely almost, and it's still being able to resurge here through the star players who were like, this is much different than what every other star players had to deal with in the history of hockey?
Yeah, I think now you're starting to see more of that, and that's why some of these conversations are being had where they're trying to take some of it out. Obviously, we know in all these sports that the dangers of head trauma. So that's something. I will say this: in all the years of playing hockey, fights are not where the head trauma is. It's the hits, and it's taking the shoulder to the chin.
And the ice, right?
And hitting the ice and being knocked out before you hit the ice, and then hitting your head on the ice. So I think when you talk to a lot of people, a lot of guys nowadays, fighting's different. Back in the day, it was just, you're toe to toe. You're eating as many punches as you're given, and that's changed. It's not like that anymore. You know what I mean? And I think the biggest change, though, was back in 2005. There was the lockout. That was during the Danbury Trashers time, during that time. And, there was the lockout, and it was kind of coming off the dead puck era. The dead puck era was the era where the goals were significantly down in the NHL. People were like, this isn't fun to watch anymore. Fans weren't loving it. Yeah, we like the fight, and we like the kind of gladiator side of the sport, but we want to see some goals, and we want to see some talent. So they changed the rules. And when they changed the rules, it was no obstruction, no hooking, no grabbing. You used to be able to do whatever you wanted, man. You used to be able to throw up any kind of interference you wanted. It was like playing, it was no rules on the playground type stuff we're talking. And they changed those rules. And from that day forward in 2005, coming out of that lockout, it weeded out a lot of guys. Because now you can't, I'm 6'5", and I played center at that time, and I played down low, and I'd be playing below the goal line in the defensive zone. And I was confident. I don't care if I go in the corner with a fast, small guy who's going to try to dance me out of the corner. If he dances me and he gets by me, I still got a big wingspan. I can still wrap him up and bring him down. Like, it's not a big deal. And now when they change that, I can't touch him. I got to skate with them. And that changed. All of a sudden, the coach came to me one day. He's like, Rupper, I love what you've done for us at center. It ain't fucking working anymore. You got to go back. You got to go to wing. So they moved me over. They moved me over to wing, and I was playing along the boards a little bit more. And that really changed it though, Pat, because it's like those guys kind of got weeded out, because there was a time when those tough guys, they weren't the most skilled. Maybe they weren't the fleetest of foot. But now you're starting to see guys. Here's the kicker. Tom Wilson, which is a bad word to a lot of teams' fan bases in the NHL. Tom Wilson is a unicorn in the NHL because he's 6'4", he's 235 pounds. He hits like a freight train.
Very attractive.
And he's good.
He very attractive. Very attractive.
He's a handsome son of a bitch. He plays on line 1 with Alex Ovechkin, and that's the other part of it. Playing with superstars. If Ovi didn't want to play with Tom Wilson, guess what? Tom Wilson would never see the ice with Alex Ovechkin. Ovi wants to play with him. And so he plays with him. And that guy is kind of the nuclear weapon, if you will, in the NHL. Every team set in their fan bases hate him, but 32 teams all want Tom Wilson. So they're looking for that next guy. Who's that 6'4" guy who can skate like the wind, run through you, can play with the offensive players? That's that next kind of big money maker in the NHL.
He's tight end. You're looking for the tight end. Basically, the NFL
100%.
changed the game, and the tight ends became. Yeah, we went through all of his fights. We believe he is 53, 27, and 3 in his fighting career. That was Zito was the judge, the jury, and the executioner on those fights. We looked it up on YouTube because this was back when he was running everybody, and it was like, this guy's the worst. And then the Rangers. I think the Rangers were the team that they had to answer the bell basically the next day, and they're playing against the Caps because some guy got taken out, and everybody's like, hey, the Rangers are going to fight tonight. They got to stick up for their guy. And I think we might have talked to you or somebody else. It was like, the Capitals, they're okay if the Rangers are going to come fight. Like, they are built to fight everybody. And that was the day where I had the immense amount of respect for both the Rangers, hockey, and the Capitals. The Rangers were the babyface, the good guys here. They're going to fight and stick up for the good of their teammate. And they knew as they were going on the ice, they were going to get their fucking asses beat by the same people that beat the fuck out of their teammate the night before, and they had to do it. And the Capitals, I feel like, relished in it, right? There was 7 people in the box. Tom Wilson had his jersey off, I think. He was
flexing. He was doing all that.
Yeah, it was like, the Capitals are such a great, heel team.
Chara wanted to fight people. He was on the Caps at the time. He was looking for it, too. He said, come on, let's go.
Yeah, you had a fight with Chara, didn't you? I mean, you had to fight that guy, 6'9" or 7 foot tall, a guy who just throws hands and bombs on the ice.
Yeah, man. I watched a fight this year with Chara, and he's 43 years old, I think, and he's slowed down. The Islanders are struggling this year. Who did he fight, Nick? You remember who did he fight this year? Oh, he fought that Trenton. Was it that Trenton kid in Nashville?
Yep.
So this Trenton kid,
soul.
this Trenton kid in Nashville. I think he's a Russian guy, and this guy one-punched Chara maybe last year or 2 years ago, and they haven't really kind of butted heads since. And all of a sudden, get in this game, and this kid, what a nut bar this kid is. He didn't even fight that much, but he hit the lottery, hit Chara, knocked the big man down, and Chara wanted a piece of him. And they fought earlier this year, and this kid's face blood everywhere. And I'm like, oh my God! I'm just glad I wasn't him. But Chara, I think he's starting to understand now. I got to do something different. He's got that scary mentality once again. He used to be one of the league's top end defensemen. He knows at his age right now he can't do some of those things. So now he's just blooding people up and trying to crack their skulls. Right there it is. Look at my face. My face right there. That wasn't fun, man.
So hold on.
Yeah.
You lost this, yeah?
Oh yeah. I lost it before we even dropped the gloves. I just remember I was lining up with one tough guy already, and Sean Thornton, and we had a few bouts, and he just goes to me, he leans in, gets real close to me, and we're shoulder to shoulder on the face off, and he goes, "Hey Rupper, I think the big man wants you back there." And I kind of lean back and I look around him, and Char's looking at me, he's like, "Come on. Let's go. Come on." And so as soon as I drop the gloves and you're skating in those 20 feet to go engage with this guy, I was like, what the fuck was I thinking? What am I doing? So, I guess, we talk about years later. I was actually playing in Minnesota my last year, and I had knee surgery. I was out. And my son, Mason, who he's 17 now, but at the time he was, Mason was probably 10 or 11. And Char was his favorite player. And, he knew Char was his favorite player before I fought him. And so I said to Mason, I'm like, hey, Mace, I'm not playing tonight. Let's go to the game. After the game, I'll bring you down. You can meet Big Z after the game. He's a really nice guy. He's a great dude. All right, cool. So after the game, we go down there. Z comes walking out. And he's standing there, and he was awesome with Mason. He is literally the biggest class act ambassador to hockey. He's talking to him. Get a picture with him. I get the picture developed. Gets Char to sign it. This little turd puts the picture above his bed of me getting my ass kicked by Zdeno Chara. So he's like, Dad, can you sign my picture? Because I got Z on it already. So I'm like, why would you hang a picture of your dad getting beat up above your bed with this guy signing it? Like, that's not that cool. And he's like, I think it's awesome. So
kids are the best. Go ahead, Tone.
Rupper, we talk about how camaraderie in the NFL in the locker room is huge. I lived across the street from Max Talbot during all those playoff runs, and I saw a lot of camaraderie happening in the South Side. Were you a part of that? And are all NHL players just a bunch of big booze bags?
Great question.
Hey, you brought up the one guy. Hey, listen, Max Talbot. So
You brought up the one guy.
I know, I lived across the street.
Down by Southside, there's
This is Pittsburgh, by the way. This is a strip of bars. It had a Guinness Book World Record.
Yeah. What is it? It's the most bars in
per
capita.
per square.
Per capita, yeah.
Whatever it is. That's a lot of boozing. A lot of boozing. A lot of Yinzers, a lot of boozing.
So Talbot has the boys over one night, and I haven't gone down to his place yet. He had a great spot right on the south side. So the place we would always go is Mario's. It was right down there, and we would go into Mario's and we're having beers. And Talbot was like, it was the end of the night. He's like, hey, let's go we'll bring it back to my apartment here. I'm like, all right, cool. We walk out. So I'm going to do it right now. We walk out, Mario's right here. Walk out the back door. We turn. We walk. We turn right here. It's his front door. Where are we right now? His door to this great pad was literally 15 steps from Mario's. I'm like, Talbot, man. I mean, this gotta be fun, but you might need to change some things if you want to get the outside. And Max is one of the best, man. He's an absolute gamer, a Pittsburgh legend, good friend now, and yeah, man, life down there with Talbot. It's an interesting spot, to say the least.
Those are dog years down on the south side. A guy who lived there for 25 years, Nick Maroto.
Long time. Rupper, real quick, you played in Minnesota. The Winter Classic is still happening on Saturday. I don't think people know this. The St. Louis Blues are going to Minnesota at Target Field
St. Louis still has a team?
to play the Minnesota Wild. You played in a couple of these outdoor games. Can you talk about what it's like?
It's awesome for them, man.
Yeah, man. I played in two. I played one at Heinz Field, obviously in Pittsburgh. I was against Pittsburgh and Washington. That was in 2011. And 2012, I played in the one in Citizens Bank Park in Philly when I was with the Rangers against the Flyers. I didn't have to deal with we had some weather in Pittsburgh. It was raining. It was like the ice. The rain's the worst part as far as the ice conditions. And when you get the ice getting a little bit soupy, and I remember there's the passes were coming on the ice. And it's going through puddles, right? And there was spray. It was spraying up over the heads of players. So a lot of players were opting. I didn't wear a visor, and now you have to. But at that time, you had an option. Guys who had their visors on, and they're trying just to receive a pass, and they're just getting sprayed. Can you imagine? It's like me throwing you a football, and then right before you catch it, I just take a spray ball and I go. You know what I mean? So guys are coming off the bench. You're like, fuck this, take this shit off. Guys are taking their visors off. You're just adjusting. You're trying to do anything you can to survive in the game. The weather we had, though, was 35. I mean, you went out there, you wore your layers. You thought, hey, it's going to be cold. I had my eye black on. Oh. I had all these different layers on. And then cool. Guys went out for warm-ups, and they came back in. And, again, creatures of habit. Guys are like, get this shit off of me. I'm going to go the way I always go inside the arena. So guys would just go back to what they normally do. That isn't going to be the case here. This is a different animal in Minnesota. They're expecting a high of -5. This isn't wind chill. This is -5. A high of -5. They said between -5, -15. And so everyone's like talking about, the players on the ice. But I'm, for selfish reasons, me and Kevin Weeks, we're fucking covering this thing in a suit on the side of the So I'm not sure what that's going to look like. I already said, I'm going to Dick's tomorrow. I'm getting that, AJ, give me any tips on what I can wear. You played in Lambeau. I need something, dude.
Wear a wetsuit.
I gotta
like
wear
old Tom
suit.
Brady. Get that wetsuit.
Yeah, get a wetsuit in there. Cook the body a little bit.
I might make my suit wet just to try to stay warm. Like, it's going to be
You're talking about
nasty.
peeing yourself. It will turn cold, though. Rupp, we have to get to hour 3 here. We can't thank you enough for joining us. We'll watch you on NHL Network. Congrats on the hosting gig, huh?
Here we go.
This guy might win a goddamn Emmy. Ladies and gentlemen, Stanley Cup
Awesome,
champion.
guys. Thank you very
Host
much.
of That's Hockey Time, Mike Rupper.